What's up, football fans? I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our two latest book releases, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? Visit our website at footballgameplan.com/books and get your copies today. Welcome to NFL Game Plan. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our Week 5 preview between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. And we're going to be joined by our football game plan analysts, Ron Davenport, Gene Clemens, and also Chris James. But let's start this video off by taking a look at my keys to victory.
Starting with the Cleveland Browns in this ball game, I would attack vertically down the field versus the secondary of Baltimore. I think there's a lot of opportunities to be had in the passing game if they go deep down the field. And I think this is a great matchup on the outside for the Browns. The matchups allow for more aggressiveness versus the run. I think right now, since the Browns are struggling mightily to stop the run, playing a team that has a depleted receiving core along with their secondary, which is very good pound for pound, they can match up and get aggressive on the outside, which allows them to be even more cognizant of the running game and get a little bit better in stopping the run and making Baltimore have to go to those receivers. So I think look for Cleveland to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to stop the run because they can trust what they have on the outside. And I would allow one back to get into rhythm. In my opinion, it should be Duke Johnson. He's the guy that's the most dynamic. He's a playmaker. And they have to get one of these guys, whether it's Crowell or Johnson, to get into a groove. Right now, they're trying to split carries, and that's not working for the running game. And for the Ravens in this ball game, winning those individual matchups on the flanks will be key. Yes, they're going to be without Steve Smith. They're going to be without Michael Campanaro. A lot of good targets that's going to be out of this game and out of the season for the Ravens. So these backup receivers have to step up and make plays consistently. Otherwise, this offense will become one-dimensional. And you don't want to allow the Browns to get the edge in the running game. They love to run off tackle. And if you allow those offensive tackles and tight ends to seal the edge, it could be a long day in the run defense department. And I look at the tight ends being a big X factor in this ball game for Baltimore. I like the matchups versus those linebackers and safeties of the Browns. I think when you look at Crockett Gilmore, Max Williams, the rookie out of Minnesota, and fullback Kyle Juszczyk, I think that's a matchup the Ravens can exploit in the passing game. So I look for these guys to not only be a big X factor in the passing game, but also in the running game department with their blocking, sans Max Williams.
Seeing that the Ravens have suffered a lot of injuries at the receiver position, I'm pretty sure Cleveland will come into this ball game and will want to press on the outside and get extra aggressive on the corners. And I'm going to show you how they can defeat that out of a bunch formation and trying to get the football to their tight end H-back or fullback Kyle Juszczyk on an arrow route. We're going to give Kyle Juszczyk the football on the arrow route, but we're trying to put these two backers in the bind. Pre-snap, what we're doing, we have a cluster right here with the receiver, two receivers. We're going to put the running back in motion. So he's going to set up camp right there, and we're just noticing what these backers are going to do. Either they're going to bump out. If they're in man, this is beautiful, but if they're in zone, they're going to try to bump over a little bit. But we're still trying to confuse them and see how can we better get Juszczyk the football on that arrow route like we talked about. But what we're doing at the top of the bunch, we're running up to the corner. We're trying to pull this safety out of the way. We're going to bring the receiver here over on a quick drag route, so one of these backers will have to follow. And you see where we're trying to isolate, because again, this backer is probably eyeing this running back out in the flat. And what we're doing backside to keep this free safety away from the play, we're running up and a post. We're not really running, breaking it so far in toward the goal post. We're trying to keep it flat a little bit, bending it a little bit more to where he has to honor it and get out of the way. So we take these two guys out of the way right here, but we're working front side. So we're going to run Juszczyk as if he's going on an out route. Hopefully his backer bites, and he's breaking it right where this guy just vacated, where this guy's going to have a problem trying to redirect himself. Quarterback can hit it right there, and that's how you get a guy that played tight end in the Ivy League of football. And now, because they don't expect him to be a receiver, but this is how you utilize the bunch formation, because here's what you want to read. You want to read 1, 2, 3. So now you have your quick pass right there. You have your built-in hot read right here with your receiver running across the formation. You have your home run play with the corner route with the big wide receiver, could get position on the safety. And you also have a safety valve right here, and hopefully your running back can make one miss. But that's one way I think they can combat the pressure that they're going to see this week on the outside from the Cleveland Browns.
Opening up the Browns playbook from last week, you saw some creativity with their personnel versus San Diego. You see right here, the Browns went empty, which is a great formation to go to when you have a mobile quarterback like Josh McCown. It will be even better with Johnny Manziel, but I'll get back to that in a second. When you look down at the bottom in the slot, you see Duke Johnson matched up one-on-one versus a linebacker. This is a matchup that he will win 9 times out of 10, and if they can find these type of favorable matchups in the passing game versus Baltimore, they can have a lot of success. This play ended up being a touchdown. The reason why, when you go to that empty formation, it declares, the defense has to declare how many people they're sending. The quarterback right now sees 5 guys rushing, which means if he can't find anyone open, he has the freedom to take off and run. They're in man coverage. This was a great read by McCown, a great throw, and the end result was a great play.
Well, folks, Browns at Ravens. My X factor for the Browns is that secondary. Pierre Desir, Justin Gilbert, Joe Hayden, they're going to have to do everything they can to shut down the Ravens receivers, force this team to be one-dimensional, force the Ravens to run the football, get the ball out of Flacco's hands, and make Forsett and the offensive line beat them. That's how the Browns can win this game. Therefore, my X factor is going to be the secondary for the Cleveland Browns. As far as the Ravens are concerned, my X factor is again going to be the running game. Running the football is in the Ravens' DNA, and this team will not win if they cannot run the football. You saw what Forsett did against the Steelers, 27 carries, 150-plus yards, and they won the football game on the road. X factor for the Ravens, running the football. So you could use Justin Forsett, Buck Allen, and Taliaferro. Those are the guys. I have the Ravens winning this one at home. Every game has been close. This is going to be another close one. I have the Ravens winning 28-24.
If I'm coaching, again, I've seen enough. I want to see more Johnny Manziel. Allow him to go out there and see if he can be the Johnny football that he was with Texas A&M for me in Cleveland. Or else I know that next year I need to be looking for another quarterback in the draft. If I'm the Ravens, with all the injuries that I've had at the wide receiver position, it's important for me to establish the run game so that I can then try to get the ball over the top to these receivers who may not have as good of a rapport with Joe Flacco as some of the other guys who've been hurt. In the end, this is going to be an ugly game, but I still can't see the Browns winning it. I'll take the Ravens to win 17-7.
As far as the start, we started to see it happen. They love to get back to running the ball, and Justin Forsett is that guy. So he is the start for the Baltimore Ravens. As far as a sit, I'm sitting the Ravens wide receivers. It's nothing against their talent. It's just they're depleted. And also, new pickup Chris Gibbons. How's he going to fit into the offense? Need to figure that out. As far as a start for the away team, the Browns, Gary Barnidge, loving to check down to him and passing the ball is the name of the game for the Cleveland Browns. He's actually done well as a fantasy tight end. As far as a sit, I'm going to sit the Browns D here. The Ravens are going to try to prove a point, and that point will probably be proven in this game. Sleeper here could be Duke Johnson. He has the most explosiveness on this Browns roster as far as someone out of the backfield, so he could break a long one against them. Final score here, I expect a pretty high scoring one. Ravens 31-20.
I like the Browns in this ball game. I think when you look at the passing game, both the receivers and the secondary in this matchup, and just isolate those two, it heavily favors the Browns. Pound for pound, they match up very well versus this Ravens passing game, and I think that matchup will allow the Browns defense to put extra focus on stopping the run. And as we recap our picks, I'm the lone wolf this week going with the Cleveland Browns. Everyone else is taking Baltimore. I think this will be a very tough physical game in the AFC North. And we also want to give a huge shout out to Brown fan forums and Raven fan forums for always showing football game plan support.